number 18. We are expected to simplify this expression. So basically, we are going to apply laws of indices. Now, this will be equal to 8 to the power of a third, because you have everything to the power of a third, multiplied by e to power 6 to the power of a third over f to power 12 to the power of a third. Now, one thing you have to remember is that anything to the power of a third is same as the cube root of that. Anything to the power of a half is same as the square root of that. So, and we can apply this in simplifying indices. So basically, a to power a third is same as the cube root of 8 multiplied by, now another thing you have to remember is that a to power m to power n is the same as a to power m multiplied by n. Again, that's something that you have to remember from laws of indices. So here we'll have e to power 6 multiplied by a third over f to power 12 multiplied by a third. So basically, this will give us, we can simplify this to f to power 12 multiplied by a third. Okay, so we can simplify this further. So basically, this will be equal to cube root of 8 is just 2. A third of 6 is 2, so that will be e to power 2 over a third of 12 is 4, so f to power 12. And that will be our final solution. A third of 12 is 4, so this is supposed to be 4. And that will be our solution. Okay. Next question, we need to factorize this fully. So basically, the common factor here is 2. So you take 2 outside the bracket, and then you'll end up with y squared minus 36. And then you apply a difference of 2 squares. So a squared minus b squared is equals to a plus b multiplied by a minus b. Again, that's something that you have to remember. So this will be 2 into y plus 6 and y minus 6. Okay, next question. Simplify this expression. So step 1, let's start by factorizing 2p squared minus p minus 15. So factorize 2p squared minus p minus 15. So we need two numbers whose sum is, and we'll do this by splitting the middle term. So we need two numbers whose sum is negative 1, the coefficient of p here, and whose product is 2 multiplied by negative 15, which is negative 30. So two numbers that meet this condition are negative 6 and 5. So negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 6 multiplied by 5 is negative 30. And then we use these two to split the middle term. Yeah, so split the middle term. So if we split the middle term, we shall end up with 2p squared. And then instead of negative p, we'll write negative 6p plus 5p minus 15. And then basically here, we factorize the first two terms and the last two terms. The common factor here is 2p, and then we shall end up with p minus 3. And then 5, we have p minus 3. And then we factorize this because the common factor here is p minus 3. and what will be left is 2p plus 5. So 2p plus 5 multiplied by p minus 3. All right, so we factorized that. So let's just call that step 1. Step 2, factorize p squared minus 3p. Now this will be p into p minus 3. Yeah. So we have these two answers. So we can now go ahead and rewrite this expression using these two expressions. So the first one we have 2p plus 5 for the numerator, p minus 3 over p into p minus 3. Now these two cancel, so we shall end up with 2p plus 5 over p, and that will be our final solution. Okay, next question, factorize fully 8c minus 27. So here the common factor is just 9. So 9, and then in bracket, whatever will be left will be 2c minus 3. And then the next one, we FOIL the brackets, or multiply out the brackets, so that will be t squared minus 4t plus 5t minus 20, which will be equal to t squared plus 5t minus 20. Okay, next question. Solve this linear equation. So we'll start by multiplying out the brackets. So if we multiply out the brackets, we'll end up with 6x plus 15 is equals to 4 minus x. Now here you need to bring the unknowns on one side, the x's on one side, and then we can take the 15 on the other side. So you'll end up with 6x plus x is equals to 4 minus 15. So you'll have 7x is equals to negative 11. Then you divide both sides by 7. So x will be equal to negative 11 over 7. Okay, next question. You have this expression, and we need, now remember what I said initially, so not square root of x is same as x to the power a half. This is just something that you have to remember. So which means here we'll have x to the power a half to the power of 8. Now again, another thing that you have to remember here, like I've mentioned in my previous video, is if you have a power of a power, you multiply the power. So this will be x to the power a half multiplied by 8. Now a half of 8 is 4, and that will be our resulting solution. Okay, here we are required to solve this equation. So to solve this equation, we need to get rid of the denominator. So multiply by 3 on this side, multiply by 3 on that side. Here the 3's cancel. So you end up with this linear equation. 6 plus 4y will be equal to 3 into 5 minus 2y. And then we just simplify this. So 6 plus 4y will be equal to 15 minus 6y. Now you may want to bring the y's together and the numbers take to the other side. Now we'll have 4y plus 6y will be equal to 15 minus 6. So 10y will be equal to 9, and then you divide by 10 on both sides. So you'll have y is equals to 9 over 10. All right. And then part C of this question, make G the subject of the formula. Now to make G the subject of the formula, we have to bring this G on this side and take -1 on that side. So you'll end up with G minus GH will be equal to 3H plus 1. Factorize G out, 1 minus H will be equal to 3H plus 1. Then divide by 1 minus H, 1 minus H. So G will be equal to 3H plus 1 over 1 minus H. And that will be your resulting solution.